Absolutely. Yeah. No, that I find this kind of stuff, it's always interesting. Like I don't spend a lot of time configuring my desktop, but I'm always curious if maybe there's one that I would like more. So, a couple times a year I probably fire up all the different ones that I can think of, and eventually I get tired of doing that, and I'll say like, okay, well, I
Yeah,
looked at
yeah.
all of these, and I'm always curious what KDE is doing. I remember when that was announced
The
initially.
Kool Desktop Environment.
Yeah, right. And I didn't know anything about Qt or Qt, as some people say.
I say
Uh,
both just to annoy everyone.
I so I tend to say Qt now
Mm.
to someone who doesn't know that's how it's pronounced, and then I'll say Qt to like KDE developers or like Qt developers who are,
Mm.
they're gonna get annoyed. I don't know. It's just like it's kind of a bit of fun, and
Yeah,
they're like,
yeah,
it's pronounced there. I'm like, yeah, I'm just messing with you. But yeah, I remember when that came out, and I remember the screenshots. I want to say it was. You can correct the date. I'm gonna guess 1997.
Initial release was 98.
Oh, okay. It must have been
But
announced
there
in
was a
97.
there was an announcement in 96. So could have been
Bam.
somewhere in that period. Maybe you saw the beta or something.
Yeah, and I thought the screenshots were really, really cool because at that
Mm.
point, we had FW or FVWM and sort of all of the fan outs from that, and you can have some really, really cool looking desktops. There used to be a website called themes.org,
Mm.
which was collecting all of these FVWM themes and later other window managers, and that went away. But that's how we would have these like really cool like setups like you would see in a movie or whatever, and people would spend days setting up the background graphics and patches to terminal programs and stuff, but you could get like a really, really slick setup, and then of course you would want people to see it, but it was before any of us had laptops, so
Mm.
you're like, hey, come over to my house and look at my desktop. But now you can do that on a laptop, and you get the person at the coffee shop or the airport sees it, and they're like, whoa, what are you running, which I always think is kind of funny. I what I like doing, especially going through an airport, is I like to take my laptop, and just for the travel day,
Uh-huh.
I will run a theme that makes it look like Windows 95
Okay,
or
okay.
or,
I
or
wasn't sure
something
where
like
you were gonna go with that one. I thought you were gonna be like, "Oh, I like running the something that looks like a hacker prompt." That's
that.
gonna
No, no,
get stopped
no.
by the TSA.
Well, no. That's well, I do have a story about that, but the I just always I if I'm in an airport, I want someone to actually see that, or on an
Mm.
airplane, see like just do a double take and think, is this person really using Windows 95 this year? Like, and then they're curious what you're doing, and it's, I don't know, it's just kind of a fun little gag, but
Mm.
done that a few times. But I've definitely got some weird looks.
Regarding the KD1 thing, this is what I love about open source. There is a developer who decided, I'm going to go and revive KDE1. He decided to
That,
just go and fork the project,
yeah,
port it over to Qt 2 because Qt 2 has a couple of nice additions to it, like
yeah,
some scroll wheel support, for example. This is what happens when you deal with 90s code base. You sort of, a lot of basic missing things are missing. Um,
yeah.
and he wants to eventually basically do a rewrite of the backend and port it over to Wayland as well.
That would be, that would be really cool to see. Send me the URL for that if there is one,
Uh,
or wherever.
yeah, I
Because
think he's got a repo. Let me see. Um, uh, yeah, okay, yeah. I'll send. I'll email you a link afterwards. You can get it set up right now with the development preview in Debian if you want to. Actually, I can send it in the chat here, can't I? Yes. How do I get the chat here? I don't even know. There it is. That's the chat. Okay, there you go.
Oh, libranext.com. Okay. That would be fun to see. It's
It's
really,
very buggy right now because it's
I'm sure,
90s
yeah.
code. But
Yeah. Oh, I so remember this. Oh my gosh. I definitely remember because when KDE came out, at that point in time, anything that was new that was coming out and you were a Linux user, you were downloading source code and compiling it. So my friends and I, we're like, let's build KDE, but it was all in C++, which G++ took even longer to crank through all the code on our slow systems. But yeah, we spent, I think it was like a week building all of the source packages for KDE 1, but it ran. It looks really slick. I thought it was pretty cool. But then Gnome was announced after that because there
they're a
was
year
all
apart from each other.
Yeah, and what I remember from that is it was the pushback on using QT.
Yeah,
Like
at the time it had the proprietary license. Yeah, it was
which yeah, I get, that's and they because GIMP was already out since the G in GTK stands for GIMP. Though it probably stands for GTK toolkit now, but
yeah. I think it is just GTK at this point.
Yeah, but that's where it originated from, and they said, okay, well, we're going to do a desktop environment, and we're going to use these GPL libraries as the base, which, yeah, it's kind of cool. And I mean, I think they're both really nice environments. I don't use them on a daily basis, so I don't know the warts and stuff that people run into from time to time. But they seem to both have, like, from my viewpoint, roughly similar sized user bases that are like deliberately I'm using this because I want to, not I'm using it because I installed a distribution and this was the default interface. Like I'm not counting those users.